Hello and welcome to Gunnar Weisskamp's web development. Today looking at lesson 14 and SQL Server and triggers. In this lesson we're going to find out how and what triggers are in SQL Server. So I'm using here SQL Server 2014, but you probably won't need that to make this application work. So let's go into SQL Server. Right, so I've got a few windows open here. Let's just move some of these aside for here. And let's just look at these two. These are our table definitions, which we're going to create in 2 seconds. So we've got an ordered data table here. It's got 3 fields, an ID field, which is going to be self-seeded via this identity field, and it's going to have an item name and an item price. And this code here is just going to help make that primary key constraint. Just so I'll bring all the code over so you can see it there. So hopefully that'll help you type it in if you need to. Our next table is our G order history table. This is going to have 2 fields, an ID field which is also self-seeding, and an ID order. As you probably can guess, these 2 tables are going to be heavily related. So what we're going to do here is when something happens an action happens on this table, we're going to record it here in this G order history table. A common example of using triggers for this sort of process. So we've got 2 tables here, and I'll just drag this over so you can see all the code for this guy here. Cool. So we've got to execute these 2. So we've got here on our left where everything's going here into our employee information database. So let's execute that. Let's execute this one. So now we should have, we refresh this, there's our 2 tables now. So they're all done and dusted. We can move them across. They're not going to be involved in this tute anymore. Now we get into the trigger part. So what are triggers? It's pretty simple, I think, to sort of explain. So here we have our first one, and where it's going to be created is on, so this is the name of the trigger. It's going to be created on this table here, the G order data table. It's going to be on that table, so when an action happens on this table, this trigger will fire. And it will happen after an insert. So after you insert information on this table, this code here will fire. If that's as simple as I can put it. What's our code that's going to fire? We are inserting on this G order history table the ID of the order that was placed on this table here. So that's, the aim of that. To record order IDs that have been taken or something like that, or mucked around with. Underneath this, well, what we're first going to do, let's just add this trigger here. We'll explain the other triggers as we go. So we'll execute that. And now let's see this in action, because we've done our insert trigger here, as I mentioned. And here we've got some code which is going to do an insert. And then we're going to see what information comes on these tables too here. So let's do an insert. Let's bring this up. And we can see, so inserted only on this G order table, and the phone and the $20 price has been put there. And now we can also see on this order history table, due to this trigger here, that this order ID has been placed on that table there as well. So that's the trigger coming into play. Right, so that's the trigger for the insert. Next, let's have a look at a trigger for update. So whenever an update action is done on the G order data table, this code here will fire. You have to give each trigger its own individual name, and we can see we've given it one there. So here, you might think, Well, let's just record the order ID again. Let's just use the same code here. That is not going to happen, unfortunately. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but trust me, it won't happen. We have to do something special to make this to make the ID from here end up on the history table. And what that is we have to do this here. We have to get the ID that was taken from the inserted action, record it here in our variable, and then place it into our table here. So let's create this trigger here. Okay, that trigger's created. So now we've only got, let's put our, well, not to confuse things. So we've got there, we're going to update our order data table and set the price of that object to $13. So once this happens, another entry will be placed in here, and it'll also have the ID of 1. So let's give that a go. So there we go. We can see this, the price has changed to 13 from the 20, and we can see there the correct order ID has been placed in. So that's the update trigger explained. The third and last trigger that you can do is a delete. So you can understand sort of how the actions are happening here. If you're inserting, updating, or deleting on a table, you can add a trigger. So that's this trigger here. Again, it's got its own individual name, and it's on the GOrder data table, and here's the delete keyword. This we have to do in here something a little bit different than our update process. We have to use from the deleted table. This is a special hidden table that's SQL creates and makes when an insert or an update happens. So we have to get the ID from the deleted hidden table and then record that and put that here in our order history table, if that makes any sense. We can't again do this process here, unfortunately. You'd think maybe common sense would sort of work in our favour, but you just can't. So that's the thing with triggers. You have to be careful, especially you might just think some piece of code might work. Like anything, you've got to try it out. So let's create this trigger here. We've got our trigger. Now we're deleting this row here. So we will have a value of 3, a total of 3 records in here, and the order ID will be 1 there. So let's do that. Okay, so there we go. Deleted from there, and one's been put on there. Just for a brief, so that we've all got the triggers now in play, let's execute this. We're inserting a new one. This will be the value of 2, because remember, this is self-increasing. So now we've got the 2. This insert trigger came into play, and now we've got this 2 put on there. We're going to update that 2. Let's make it 14, something slightly different. And now we'll get 2 put in, so that we can just see it working properly. Working like a charm. We've got our order ID recorded. Obviously in the order history tab you'd have a timestamp and a number of other facets which might help you out as well. So now let's just do our delete again, but this time we're going to have to delete row 2 obviously, and execute, and there we go. So we can see when an insert action happens, when an update action happens, and delete, we could record the ID of the order that was changed, updated, inserted, or deleted. And this is pretty vital in many ways, especially on a delete, because when it's gone, but here on our history table, we've still got that order ID. So we can say, and if we put a timestamp in here, we can say on this date, and you can even write down the user that did the action and so forth. So these sort of triggers can be quite useful. Yay. Alright, so hopefully that was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel or visit my website if you want. Thank you, bye.